Don Freeman and Bruce Campbell. Team FreeBell versus Team Muted, because they're so mean they're not allowed to talk. Bruce facing off against Piano. Freeman facing off against Best Noob. What's the final score, Cretella? What are you calling?
I'll say 3-1 Piano and Best Noob.
Oh, you don't want them to win, but you're saying that they will, huh?
Yes, very much. Yeah, that about sums it up.
3-1. Okay, I hear that. Man, I don't want to agree with you, but I feel like you might be right.
What are you thinking? Are you thinking 3-2, 3-0?
I'll give Campbell and Freeman a little more of a chance. I'll say 3-2.
Okay. I'm worried now they're going to get 3-0'd.
Oh, man. Well, if we're both wrong, then I guess everybody's a loser. All right.
Meanwhile, we're going to see your favorite race out on the field. Not just one, but two of them.
Double Gray Knights. How many strike squads are we going to see? That's our next guess. We've got Piano as the mech boy, Best Noob as the Plague Champ, which is, turret's going to be very good on this map for either of those heroes. Of course, the Orc turret not nearly as mean as the Plague Champ turret.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Heretics as well as Orc squads, those are all things where banishment would be pretty effective. Will it actually be the double strike squad? At the moment, it's honestly looking like that because we see them holding their requisition, not putting down power, not getting a second IST squad.
Right.
Alright, as this engagement is going on right here, we are going to see the Eversor in melee with the Sluggers.
Oh my gosh, they're doing it. They're totally doing it.
Yeah. I thought it was
4 strike squads. No shame.
Yeah, if they hit the Heretics, if the Heretics have no aspiring champion, could very easily be the end of the squad. I haven't actually seen as much of an Ordo Malleus versus Orcs matchup, but I would honestly expect the Shooters as well as the Sluggers to be very vulnerable to it too, just looking at their health pools.
Yeah, not to mention that, but like the strike squads are just, I feel like they're beefy enough to deal with Sluggers, and they can't straight up outshoot the Shooters, but with banishment on top of that, it's going to be an easy thing to do.
True, yeah. So, Best Noob also not getting another... Okay, finally does pull out the Havoc.
Yeah, and against strike squads, the Havoc is a fine answer. He could go Havoc, he could even get grenade launchers on top of that just to keep his Heretics out of harm's way. Really force the strike squads to overextend to get their banishments down on the squishy models that they want, like those Heretics.
And at least so far, this is working out for Bruce and Freeman. Managed to push off Best Noob and Piano, and they have established a triple cap for themselves. But we do see Piano trying to change that. Stormboy's jumping in. Gonna catch the Eversor Assassin. Does he go down? No, because Stormboy is bad at killing in retreat.
Yeah, they get their swings in if you're next to them, but they don't really get pursuit.
They're gonna try.
Let's see, will they get the swing off? Not a single one.
They literally can't do it.
Oh man. Their little rush attack does, I think, actually no damage, or very little damage, one way or another.
Yeah, and with all that aggressiveness, Piano didn't ever actually capture the victory point, so it's still a triple cap for Bruce and Freeman.
All right, Sluggers and Shooters moving into the middle. There's a Havoc there that is largely unanswered. A nice flank here by the second strike squad. It's looking to get into the garrison, but looks like that will be occupied at the moment by the stormtroopers. These strikes are kind of stranded out here on their own, but the second squad, the second pair, moving forward now.
The Tomes of Titan are being upgraded as well, and we've seen their first few banishments come in. So, second Havoc also coming out of Best Noob. If they have a position on the map, then the second Havoc is something that I think it could be pretty good for holding, as the compositions from both Bruce and Freeman aren't really great for dealing with double Havocs, but they need to get the position on the map first.
Alright, Storm's in melee over here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Even with two, not one, but
yeah,
two
they're
heals.
supported with the double heals.
With both heals, they managed to actually get a rout, but it took all of that to stand against the strike squads. Granted, he's a bit spread out right now, so you would kind of expect as much. And do we have, is this Interceptors coming in here? Freeman decides against it.
Yeah, he originally started purchasing it, now he will cancel it. Wonder what his intentions are.
They do have both of the contested power nodes, which is pretty nice right now. A difference of about 20 power income. They drop gens over here. I'm not sure if that's a good idea with the orcs moving up. We'll see if, oh my gosh, the Pain Boy actually.
Pain Boy was, yeah, nearly taken down. Lucky to get out of there alive.
Managed to snag a Storm Boy model. And these shooters are unupgraded. That's the one thing about this build that Piano does like. He likes going for the Storm Boys into the Pain Boy for those double heals, but you spend money on the Pain Boy, the Storm Boys, both the War Gears for the Sluggas and the Mech, so you can't actually afford those shooter upgrades, so you are going to get straight outgunned by this current composition.
Yeah, kind of shifting the strength of the early Orc Tier 1 into just different areas, actually more of a melee focus than a ranged focus. But it looks to be working out for him, at least now. As he has won yet another engagement, and we have a triple cap now in favor of Piano and Best Noob. Bruce and Freeman going to Tier 2, however.
Yeah, they're a good deal ahead of their opponents as far as power since they held those contested points for so long. They are starting to swing back around to the other side, as are the victory points, but still leaving Bruce and Freeman with a tech advantage, if nothing else, when all things are said and done. Will Bruce and Freeman, I mean, are we going to see those fast rhinos that are so common with Grey Knight builds, or do they have something else in mind? Freeman definitely calling out a rhino. I think a fast dreadnought could be an option here too, but they're probably not quite going to have the power to stall for that. I think maybe
Freeman
one
has
of them
already
could
queued
do
up the rhino behind,
okay.
Behind the Tier 2 upgrade.
Yeah, I have the feeling Bruce may have as well.
Our foes push into
So,
our territory.
yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what would have the most impact. Certainly feel the rhino has the most impact for its cost.
Best Noob with the quick don't.
We're gonna have some mines laid out to stop the approach, and there is no detection. So, but the
Yeah, I was
the
about to say the
captain-
brother captain could probably, if he
he's
wanted
content to just walk through that. Or actually, no, he'll let the rest of his army take care of it.
They don't do a lot of damage. They're more for the disruption and the suppression. They don't hit as hard as the Technic Artificer
Oh
ones.
my God! Look at that.
What a pile. Perfect banishment target.
Now, Best Noob's going to move back in from the other side to keep the victory point pressure on.
Yeah, 4 strike squads is so hard to approach. Okay, Bruce
Yeah.
is getting the Rhino. He didn't have it right after Tier 2, but he does have it now.
Best Noob is by himself here, so he's kind of pulling out
Yeah, he kind
until
of has
Piano
to.
can get around here.
Now, is he going to upgrade? I mean, he obviously isn't Tier 2 yet, but he's trying to keep one of these Havocs on the field. The Las Cannon,
Yeah, the last cannon's a little bit of a surprise, but might just be getting it in the case of possibly dealing with a blood pressure.
There he
Of course,
goes.
you know,
I mean, I do
we
agree
all
that
question it.
it's not ideal what you're looking for. You know, Piano and others have argued that if you're going to go for the fast Rhino, you just get the heavy bolter, and then if a vehicle comes out, you get the Vindicator
Converge beam?
behind it.
oh yeah, true that too. Yeah, and I think just the comparative advantage of the heavy bolter over the las cannon is quite a bit higher. Meanwhile, one of these rhinos may already be done. We got the Storm Boys coming in behind it. However, they don't have their knob and they don't path block the rhino effectively enough, down to about less than 40% of his hit points, and actually forces the retreat.
Yeah, if the knob had been there, that would have been a different story, but just the vanilla Storm Boys are not really enough to threaten the Rhino on its own. They do manage to get the pushback. The Grey Knights charging forward. Bruce and Freeman saving their big guns for the finals, not pulling out this build until just now.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we got the Brother
my
Captain,
gosh.
or at least I think it's the other side. Brother Captain going pretty low. But we're looking at Bruce and
Purifiers.
Freeman establishing a hold on the map, as they look like they're going to have a triple cap yet again, unless Best Noob has anything to say about it on the left side VP.
Alright, so Purifiers are up, and those are a tough squad. Those are a squad that, since they're pretty much just a melee squad, they can be shut down by suppression or control, but if you don't have that, they are really difficult to deal with. I've been surprised every time I've encountered them. They are fast, they hit hard, they're beefy, and it looks like, oh my gosh, they're both going for it? I swear this must be a plan, I feel like.
Oh yeah, it really looks planned, especially because I feel that out of all your tier 2 options for Ordo Malleus, I feel like Purifiers are the ones that you see the least. And I feel that's because there's some overlap with them between strikes and interceptors. And then you think about everything else that they have in tier, that Ordo Malleus has in tier 2. You've got 2 sub-commanders, 2 vehicles, and Purifiers. But nevertheless, we're going to see the Purifiers here.
Oh man, Bruce Campbell was trying to get a little cutesy here on the far side, a little too cheeky for his own good. Almost lost a strike squad to pay for it, but not this time around. The Purifiers are here though. Let's see how
Funny
they
thing is that
size
strike
up.
squad still has 3 models. All right,
Oh my
Cult of
gosh.
Speed. Cult of
All
Speed
right,
on
here
the
come
war
the truck
truck.
busters. He needs to make
chasing
sure
it
he's
down.
targeting that las cannon, or it won't actually hit the right vehicle.
Gonna try to get it around the line of sight blocker.
It looks like it will escape for the time being. Will they follow? They're dropping a barrage. It's going to be nowhere close. Yeah. And the Plague Champion really locking down this top point. The Brother Captain has fallen. The Siege Marines are getting upgraded. There's a Shrine to Nurgle over here, along with an auto cannon and a second Havoc on top of that. You might see an auto cannon on that as well here shortly, and that's just going to be a cannonade you can't approach. Not with the current situation of the Grey Knight army. And this is kind of something that people have said time and time again about the double strike squads, is that while it is oppressive in tier 1 and while it can be a huge headache, ultimately, if they can't close out the game fast, it does start dropping off pretty hard.
Yeah, and then so now we've got these double Purifiers as well, and I'm starting to question the wisdom of this.
I think
it
if
is
they
something
coordinate a strike, it will be very powerful. But if they keep running in one at a time, not much is going to come of it.
Another thing that those Purifiers offer, they have an ability, I don't remember the name, but their ability, I believe, actually shuts down abilities, silences basically. So that might be part of what they're looking for.
Is that the that the Canticle? Or is that the Global?
I think that's something different.
Okay, that might be the Brother Captain Global, the Canticle of Absolution.
I'll even look it up as soon as I can.
Okay.
But that just might be part of the intention of going with these Purifiers. Would prevent WAs, would prevent jumps from the Storm Boys if they get it in soon enough. Meanwhile, that's going to be the end of the War Truck.
War Truck goes down. Both Rhinos are over here blasting out fire. Las Rhino and the Razorback ripping apart orcs, forcing back the Chaos Army. The one problem with Best Noob's composition is that it's not very mobile. He's got 3 squads kind of just doing nothing, while the brunt of the Grey Knights are all over here. This might be this squad is just attacking. Is this the Purifiers? No, that was I guess that was one of the strike squads.
That was one of the strike squads, so that will be one strike squad again.
I think that might be good in the long run, honestly, so long as they can stop this push.
Free up that population, try to get something else. Freeman's in tier 3.
Yeah, he's in tier 3. How far off from Terminators is he? Not terribly, about another minute. Tank Busters, where is the barrage going? Nowhere close again. Those Tank Busters a little tipsy with their aim here. And Don Freeman with more Purify? That's got to be an Overwatch mistake, right? He can't be meaning to buy those. Don Freeman!
But
Don Freeman,
the thing is, he's in tier 3. He's in tier 3.
Right, that can't be intentional.
It can't even be an Overwatch mistake.
Oh, well no, it could still be an Overwatch mistake. It doesn't turn off if you click tier 3.
All right, maybe you're right.
Let's see if he recognizes it.
See if he says anything about it.
No, he moves them up. Just silent in his, Yeah, but being in Tier 3, being so close to Terminators, I can't imagine you would buy... In what situation? Yeah, he just throws one... I don't know if that was intentional. He just threw one squad of Purifiers away.
Yeah, I honestly can't... I personally can't even make any theoretical argument for the second Purifier squad.
That said, speaking of Purifier squads, one is ripping people apart right now. The Orcs getting shredded by these Purifiers. They're so fast. They hit hard. They're tanky. But both of the Grey Knight heroes are down.
Yeah, they're both down. We saw the on-death explosion for the Superstar Assassin. Yeah, this is starting to look... Oh no, and that's going to be another squad down. I don't know if that was like intentional at this point.
I should hope not. His army wasn't so big that he's...
I think it was the second Purifier squad for Freeman.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were winning this game, and now they are not.
Very much not. He needs to get those inside of that transport right now. Get in there.
This really looks like he's throwing them away. Oh, he actually does get them inside, so maybe he's not intentionally throwing them away.
All right, VPs are ticking down. They're down to double digits. It's been a close game so far, but a few throwaways here from Bruce and Freeman seem like they're falling apart in the late game here, and a potential poor purchase from Freeman. Can they do something about this? Purifiers are here to fight the Bloodletters.
Alright, Bruce can also get something.
Yeah, Bruce
whatever
is
he wants, he can get something.
Resource.
Freeman is actually not that far off either from getting something. Unfortunately, they both are lacking their commanders. Finally going to be the Grey Knight Terminators coming out with Bruce. Will they even be in time at this point? That'll be one Rhino down as well.
Just barely. If he can get those Terminators on the field in time, Freeman might be able to call in some Paladins as well. But man, this Pain Boy and these Sluggers facing off with the Strike Squad, picking off a couple more models. It's not getting cheap at this point, but that said, Bruce and Don Freeman sitting on plenty of resources at the moment, but not sitting on a lot of victory points.
No,
yep, the Overwatch,
actually
there it is.
That's it.
The admission of his
yeah, he
flaw.
admits it. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't think they stay in this game any longer.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too little, too late. The Termies came out too late. If Freeman had those Terminators instead of the Purifiers, I think they may have been able to hold there. But the second squad of Purifiers, and then he threw a couple squads away. I don't know if he was just disheartened with the Purifier purchase, but it seemed like after that, Freeman was kind of not into it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's the second Purifier purchase that definitely killed it, and especially because like there really must have been some kind of plan for this, and it would be interesting to find out what exactly that plan was, because I was kind of questioning even the Purifier purchase in the first place, and I mentioned that a little bit. So, I mean, the Purifiers, they're kind of overlap with the Strikes and the Interceptors in that they are a relatively tanky power armor squad, kind of a mix of ranged and melee, obviously a little bit more of the melee proficiency than the Strikes and the Interceptors. But the other choices in Tier 2 offer so much more. You've got 2 vehicles, you've got 2 sub-commanders. There's a lot of utility there, a lot of tankiness. Most importantly, none of those other choices bleed at all as long as you can keep them alive. Whereas Purifier is going to add a lot more bleed.
Right.
Just throw out that the best Star Trek series is Deep Space Nine.
I think that generally tends to be the consensus these days, is Deep Space Nine is the best. A lot of people whose opinions I trust on movies and film have said the same to me, so we'll probably move on to that one next.
I heard it wasn't too well received when it initially came out because it was
the first season is a little rough, right?
But I think it has by far the most talented cast of actors of any Star Trek.
And then I think most people agreed that Voyager was kind of a flop.
I think Voyager's fine, especially compared to like the rest of the Star Trek that starts to come after. But anyway, we are now in our game, still talking about Star Trek.
All right,
So
yeah,
let's take a look
Star
at this
Trek's only
Warlock from
slightly in
Piano.
the future. We got to go way, way further into the future because now we're in 40k land. Warlock for Piano. Best Noob with the Lord General Don Freeman with the Lord Commissar. And Bruce Campbell as the Warlock. So 2 Warlocks, 2 Imperial Guard. It's going to be a lot of shooty-shooty.
Oh yeah, almost a mirror matchup. Only different Imperial Guard heroes. We also have players not against their mirror race in their lanes.
The score is on the screen.
The score is correct.
Oh wait, no, yeah, it is not correct. It is backwards.
You're right, it's backwards.
I'll fix that real quick.
At any rate, Warlock going to be forced off here for Piano. Best Noob's Warlock kind of in melee on the other side. And I do think the early game for the Warlock is a little bit tough here. And I've talked about this in some other casts where the Warlock against Imperial Guard, his value is very cooldown gated. It's basically, do you have Destructor? You nuke the Heretics, not the Heretics, the Guardsmen. If you don't have Destructor, it's a lot harder for him to get value. I mean, you obviously try to tie something up, but he's not super tanky early on, can get focused down. And also a flank from Piano, just going to ensure that Bruce loses this engagement.
All right, so some nice team playing here, some securing the top victory here. Meanwhile, we have the Imperial Guard trying to burn down some generators on the far side. Only the Warlock back here to do anything about it. The Commissar just running around with his sword in the air as he tends to do.
Yeah, and the Warlock, he can't do too much about that either. He could actually throw down a Destructor, but he can't do too much to approach this until he has the support of more units. Oh, and Destructor doesn't even hit that well.
Yeah, big whiff there.
Quitting this task on your order.
So, decent chance that we see the Immolator on one or both of these Warlocks. We've already seen Piano, I believe, get I think we saw him get the Immolator Blade at some point earlier today.
All right, here comes the counter flank. This time Freeman coming in on the opposing side. Will anyone see it coming? It looks like there's no one here to call it.
It's happening at around the time that a multi-laser turret is going down, so you kind of want to dislodge that early on before it locks down that tower for too long.
If the Shuriken can get into a good firing position here, this should be an easy win for the red team with Freeman and Campbell. But are they going to be able to stop it? Shuriken cannon opens fire.
Now doesn't seem to have a target, so we'll be moving up closer. Commissar already forced off, however, and so is the Warlock. This is not looking like a very decisive flank.
No, it's now that the suppression is here and the army can't back up too much, it's one thing, but
no.
oh my gosh, here we go!
Getting hit from another angle.
Oh man,
Yeah,
they're
I think
forced off and it
Christian
looks
can
like
lose
they're
this.
not going to be able to do anything about this. It was just a little too slow.
Yeah, too slow. That's really rough for them, because that means that multi-laser turret is still up. They still won't be able to take back their top tower there for quite a while.
And the second Shuriken is out for a Piano, so it was able to defend the Banshees attempting to continue the Gen Bash on the other side of the map. This is looking rough.
Yeah, this could be a quick game too. Guardian weapon team from Bruce Campbell has to get out of there. Just eating those grenades from the Lord General. Just some quick burst damage. And these lone dire Avengers just facing against the odds. Gonna have to get out of there, otherwise they will be going down. One model explodes. Is anything even happening on that bottom side of the map?
It looks like they're trying to push forward, but there are some Catechins in position now. Not able to quite finish off this this team here.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my gosh, yeah. Best Noob heading into Tier 2. Very quick. Best Noob spent almost no power here. A little bit on that last turret, that's about it.
Seeming to be a common theme where we've seen this before, and now we're actually seeing it actively communicated, where Best Noob wants to go to Tier 2 early. Piano is content to stick around in Tier 1 for a while. But at the moment, Freeman is making a decent push for this power. I think he was talking about stealing it, but hasn't done it just quite yet. He's going to put down a multi-laser turret of his own to try to hold this.
Alright, the turret gets up, and it will pressure this Shuriken weapon team. But everything is suppressed in the meantime. The Catechins want that decap so bad, but they're going to have to fall back before much longer. They're losing models left and right.
Have to retreat. Oh, no!
Oh, the Immolator finishes the job along with a final parting shot from the Rangers. Banshee's coming in from the flank. The Immolator destroys the turret. There's a bunker here, but
I think Freeman really wanted to keep the Catachandales out on the field. He was trying to pull them back to the bunker, but they just took too much damage. He couldn't get them there, and he took his risk, and he paid for it.
Yeah, and with the Chimera coming out on the field in a few moments, this bunker is just going to be a moot point. As much as they're fighting for this power, it's all going to be for naught here in about a minute. Even if they hold it for a brief moment, it's not going to catch them up the way they need to.
Bunker's about to be stolen.
Yep.
Move from the Lord General. That was actually pretty cool.
Commissar trying to get out of there. Will he survive? Nope, no shot from the Rangers on the Commissar this time around. But now the Lord General has a nice little firing position. Let's see if they can do something about this. They are going to be able to head into Tier 2 in a moment here, but they're still quite far behind. The power, after all that, does get immediately recapped. Still 500 points on the board.
Yeah, I was just realizing that Freeman and Bruce do actually have a victory point lead, so they do have some time to work with. Those Dire Avengers at the top, though, just dropping like flies against that Chimera.
An alliance of Eldar and Imperial Guard. I'm sure that's lure friendly, right? Those guys love each other. Alright, Sentinel moving forward along with the rest of the Eldar forces. A bunch of guardsmen not far behind. Managed to catch out the Lord Commissar and disruption. Distortion field on the guardsman, I guess. Why not?
Yeah, I just noticed that. They're already so low on health. They're going for the cap, of all things. There's still a fight going on right here. Dire Avengers looking for an aggressive grenade, then they have to retreat out of there. Another grenade going in, hitting the Lord General.
Immolator have been doing a lot of work, actually, this game. Just lodging all the setup teams, securing the kill on the Catechins. Oh, those Banshees.
Howling Banshees
Say
will be
goodbye.
going down there. Yeah, I think the Immolator is now a pretty legit purchase, especially against Imperial Guard. I think it was something that you would even before the range damage was buffed, I think it was already still a viable purchase against Imperial Guard. Sentinel will go down as well.
Generator coming up. Releasing requisition force.
And more just keeps going against the favor of Don Freeman and Bruce Campbell. The Warlock falls. Bruce asking if it's GG, and I think it may well be. They're in Tier 2. Ogrins are coming out, but Freeman says try one more push. That's usually my attitude. When it feels like GG, give it one more shot, see what you can do, but this isn't looking good.
Alright, Ogrins are out for Freeman, so I think it's pretty much just push with these Ogrins, see if they can make something happen, but they need to find a way through this Guardian weapon team. Do we have the Bionic Eye? We see it being upgraded. That's kind of the plan here. Dire Avengers from Bruce still pushing forward, I think a little unnecessarily kind of out of sync. Oh, and the Ogrins will actually just be warp thrown away. Not every day you see an infiltrated sentinel.
He's so sneaky.
From the hollow field of the Rangers.
So that looks like, yeah, that looks like that was their last push. And
Really? Yeah.
and
Lehman Russ dropped in.
yeah, if that wasn't enough, seeing the Lehman Russ drop down right next to their Shuriken cannon was surely enough to shatter their spirits. It's a 2-0
Yeah,
so
man, I
far.
don't know.
They've got one more chance to do something about this.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the 3-0. I mean, to the extent that 3-1 would have been a possibility, I think it was really game one
Sure.
that was theirs to take, and they kind of ended up throwing it somehow. Double or quadruple strike squads in the beginning. Now we're seeing double Plague Champion on Ruins of Argus, and I was talking about just how polarizing I feel that bottom lane is, and the Plague Champion was one of those few heroes that I cited as I feel like he's strong down there. And I honestly would say that I like the composition, the team composition from Bruce and Freeman better, but right now it's really just Best Noob and Piano with the momentum, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of they're throwing all their eggs in, right? Like, this is the last basket they got. Can we just concede and pick Refinery and steamroll them in 5 minutes?
I mean, I also feel like if they're doing this, this is also very much a recipe for like a 3-1 ending, where like they take this map through the strength of that like bottom lane with the Plague Champion, and then Piano and Best Noob pick a less polarizing map for the final game and just win it.
Yeah, I mean, that's likely how it goes, but sometimes you want to get your win. You don't want to go down 3-0 in a finals. No one wants that.
It's true. It's very true. Like, losing 3-1 is infinitely more respectable than losing 3-0.
All right, 2 Plague Champs against an Apothecary. That's a lot of damage to try to heal up.
Yeah, Apothecary trying to go in there just gets focused down too much as they kite him down. Sentinel now moving in.
Piano might just already be mad and tilted because of what they just chose to do.
He's not even contesting like bottom really.
Yeah, he's just gonna let it go.
Isn't. So Heretics in melee with the tactical marines right there. Was going to confuse them for Chaos Space Marines for a second. Just something about the color schemes. Actually, the army schemes between Bruce Campbell and Piano from a distance almost look kind of similar. So I was confusing them a bit.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is another like Piano versus himself match happening.
Yeah,
now.
this is definitely what's going on here.
Piano versus Quebec. Does the Apothecary die here? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but that's just given. All you did was take experience from the Apothecary and give it to the Inquisitor. Oh my gosh, Twitchy, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, Piano not even trying to hold that bottom tower.
Oh, I'm sorry, Twitchy. That's your second month. You're not new. You're not a new sub. You're continuing. Even more of a hero. All right. The one monthly team tournament you don't pick Plague Champion. I mean, it turns out he's pretty good. Ooh, that stomp though. Just smooshing a whole pair of heretic squads there.
I mean, as much as I predicted a 3-1, I don't want to see it happen just because Piano's going to throw away a game.
All right, yeah, it seems like he's just letting it be what it be.
I mean, I was about to say Bruce not doing a bad job on the top, but then we even have, not Bruce, I mean Bestnip, but we even have the Plague Champion from Freeman with the Bile Spewer single-handedly taking out the entire power farm for the blue team, because it's not like they have a second power farm. So instead, they're just going to work on doubling top lane. Maybe that's their strategy. Maybe that is the honest attempt that they're going to make on this, just feeling
Yeah,
like...
I mean, honestly, I feel like that's what you should do on this map. If you face double Plague Champ and they lock down bottom, or and in this map, anytime one side gets the definitive hold on either the garrison or puts up a turret up down south, like you can control the game just as well from the top of the map. Granted, it's a little harder because it's a little more spread out, but it's often, I think, more advantageous to try to do that than to break a position that you just don't have the tools for in Tier 1 oftentimes.
Yeah, but the power farm, I mean, there were definitely generators taken down, but they're also repurchased because the red team still owns that natural power farm. They also own the blue team's bottom natural power farm. So it's basically 3 power farms to 1. So, might just be Bruce and Freeman go to Tier 2, get some Blood Crushers, shove it down Piano's and Best Noob's throats, and then we move on to Game 3. Unless Piano and Best Noob have some magic up their sleeves. Because I think that's what it's going to take at this point. They do have a new power farm up top.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I expect to see. Like, this is... If they can actually hold this here...
Ooh, pretty nice grenade on the Havoc. As well as a few Heretic models.
Yeah, I mean, they're not doing bad on this fight up top. They're not going to hold for the moment. But they did some damage.
Meanwhile, Scout Squad goes down for Piano in retreat. Heretics also...
Oh, man, that was enough for Piano to be done with it. Yep. Oh, man. Well, 2-1.
So... It turns out, yeah, Bruce and Freeman, they really knew what they were doing as far as picking that map and as well as the heroes that they picked.
All right, this is it, everybody. It could be the last match, or will Freeman and Bruce steal themselves for another victory and take it to the ace? This is the finals. It's a best of 5. Team Muted is up 2-1. Piano, aka Pano, because there's no I in team. Sorry, left it out. The Lord General teamed up with the Warlock, battling against the Plague Champion and also the Warlock. Cretella says Piano and Best Noob have this one in the predictions. According to mine, Freeman and Bruce have to take it, so we're gonna see where this goes. A lot on the line for both the players and the casters. See who has the better predictions. Here we go on to Calderas Refinery. Guardsmen, Heretics, Dire Avengers, all the classics. You know them, you love them. Bruce, Bruce going for the Dire Avengers, popping the node before he gets Banshees out, or is he not going for Banshees?
If he's directly against Imperial Guard, which it looks like he is, he may just be electing not to get the Banshees.
Yeah, he might have been waiting to see who's he's against. If I could talk, I'd end Bruce right now. And now we see why Piano's not allowed to talk. Just because the trash that he would be slinging right now. Alright, see, Bruce is determined to win. He's calling out where his opponents are. He's seeing what he spots. Dropped a couple generators right away. Gonna probably be getting a shuriken cannon out here very quickly.
Yeah, if Bruce didn't have, like if he was up against Piano, not having those Banshees of his own could be a problem. As it is, he was gonna purchase some Rangers. Now he thinks about that. Thought he started Rangers. Okay, we'll go for Guardian Weapon Team.
Yep. The Shuriken's coming out. The Destructor goes down. The Heretics aren't going to be able to stick around here, and it looks like Freeman's just simply going to get doubled, which is not too big a deal. If you're going to get doubled, it may as well be on the side that you guys don't have the gen farms, but that does open up the opportunity for the red team to push across the map together while the chaos is on the retreat.
It's going to take them some time to get there.
Yeah, there will be a shuriken up and hopefully in position to defend the power by the time they get over here. They've only upgraded the rear gen farm, so they're probably waiting a bit to get a forward gen farm.
And if it's only the Lord General and the Sentinel, that's not actually a huge amount of pressure on the generators.
Oh, he moves in at the perfect time while the shuriken isn't set up. Is he going to get into melee with it? He is.
He does.
Terrible timing. The second shuriken's coming out on the field, though. Bruce Campbell drops a bunch of power and goes double shuriken right out of the gate. Warlock doing what he can on the back line, but encountered some Banshees, so decided better of sticking around with that. Noise Marines out on the field, along with an aspiring champion Heretic for Don Freeman.
Yeah, so with this double Guardian weapon team, I think that should allow Bruce to be able to hold this power farm well enough against an Imperial Guard player, especially with Best Noob usually not even going for tier 1.5 squad, so it's not like he has overwhelming field presence in tier 1. And Piano's also calling for support, so that's going to have to be Best Noob moving over to the other side.
Yeah, he went double Rangers, which, you know, is going to be good at dealing with these Noise Marines eventually, but it's not going to buy the time needed to protect the gen farm. He's got no suppression, he's got no real control, and there's enough here to scare off and focus down the Banshees. One generator goes down already. The Imperial Guard are coming in on the flank.
So far, yeah, I mean, we do have the Lord General on the flank with some of those guards and units. A lot of things were looking good for the Chaos, and yeah, he's not out of this just yet.
Oh my gosh, they're not stopping this push at all. The guardsmen are getting ripped apart by the Noise Marines. Well, the Plague Champ isn't focusing. Oh, if the Plague Champ is focused, those would certainly be dead. The Heretics are moving up forward, unfortunately, with just their aspiring champion.
Forgotten about the Heretics.
They should get out of there?
Yeah, I think they do. So missed opportunities.
Oh my gosh, the Sentinel goes down!
Will knock it out alive.
Cacophony going down with a bunch of Dire Vendors continuing to blast away at the Banshees. This is looking like a very strong opening from Bruce and Freeman.
Yeah, they're really... You must have paid them or something, or paid someone, get them to win this second game, or this fourth game. And, yeah, and a little bit of a missed opportunity there. One of those guardsman squads could have gone down.
Yeah, I think it's champion. I mean, just think if the guardsman had gone down as well. Best Noob's heading into tier 2, but if he only had one guardsman squad right here on the back of a Sentinel, I mean, oh my gosh. And the thing with the Noise Marines is that even when they're down to one model, they're still doing their full damage to generators and stuff.
Doesn't want to loot the squad, though, so we will retreat them out of there now.
Yeah, and the Guardians should be able to finish off that generator, no problem.
Yeah, might even be able to stay out here a little bit longer with the Guardian weapon team set up on their side.
Yeah, I think that might be a little ambitious with the grenade launcher and double Rangers. Just buying a little time maybe for the Dire Vendors to get some of those caps back on the far side.
Yeah, it's time for this squad to go.
Oh my gosh, so brazen. The Banshees, with the Storefield, they still might get a hit.
They don't.
The grenades, he ground fires.
Oh, wow. Was that with the Lord General grenade
That was
launcher?
with the Lord General, a ground fire ahead of the shuriken position to finish it off. Some skill shots with Best Noob right there.
So, would still definitely say that Bruce and Freeman are looking stronger. They're both going to tier 2. Piano, once again, going with that really long tier 1. It might be a little bit of a bigger problem in this game with how much they've lost in their power.
Oh man, the Plague Champion building a turret under fire over here, locking things down. Piano saying he can't attack. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either, since his Rangers just took shots.
Yeah. Is he saying he can't target fire? I don't know.
I don't know. Or I don't know if it's just one of those things where
Yeah, it's just shenanigans.
you try to do something and then like it doesn't do what you thought it was doing, and maybe it was actually just user error in the first place. Anyway,
So about that 5-minute win, Cretella.
You think it might be in the other direction?
Well, I don't know. It's looking. I mean, it's not going to be a 5-minute win either way. But this is a strong start. I think Best Noob and Piano do have the skill and prowess to at least make this a game still. But the advantage is strongly in favor of Bruce and Freeman right now. Falcon's already coming out on the field. There is a Chimera for Best Noob, but that's all that Best Noob's going to have for a little while here. He's starved on requisition. They rebuilt their gen farms, but if it goes down again, they are not going to be able to afford to replace it. And there's already Noise Marines here trying to take out everything they can. The Chimera comes in on the flank. Are the Noise Marines going to react, or are they just going to go for the gen farm kill? The suppression coming in. Oh, man. He wants it too bad. He wants that kill. The Plague Champion can do it because he still fires under suppression. And it looks like, yeah, they're just going to ignore the Chimera. They're going to let it go down.
They're still holding this, although the Chimera did get a flank on the back. Took out the turret, also taking out the Shrine of Nurgle.
Gens are starting to fall yet again. Falcon is on the field and moving forward. And there's not going to be an answer to this Falcon at all. I mean, Best Noob got into Tier 2 quickly, but he spent all his resources on a Chimera. He's not going to have anything like a heavy weapons team anytime soon. Piano's heading into Tier 2. He can, of course, get a Bright Lance, but there's going to be a lot out here to deal with for just a Bright Lance. Ooh, there we go. That could be something. A heavy turret comes in from the Lord General. Oh my gosh, look at the range on that thing. It fires so dang far. I'm not even sure if he recognizes what's going on here. He has to back up that Falcon. The range on those heavy turrets is so insane.
They were forgotten about, but saved just in time. Although, to be fair, even if the Noise Marines had gone down, you could argue that they've actually gotten enough value to pay for themselves already.
They have to be careful here. They're in such a good advantage. It would be terrible to throw at this point.
Bright Lance is being upgraded on one of Piano's Guardian weapon teams, or his only one, rather.
There is a Plague Cloud over here to dissuade it from setting up.
Yeah, it's going to continue to chase after it, so Piano will continue to micro it around.
The Falcon does seem to be able to just barely out DPS the repair from the Guardsman. He knows that he has to know that the Bright Lance is still there.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Gotta move.
Okay, he's pulling it back.
Looks like the Bright Lance acquired a different target somehow. Maybe it's in range, but maybe
I don't think it has vision.
Yeah.
And it's also very weak. The Falcon could honestly just go down there and focus it down. I'm surprised he's allowing that to stay on the field after how weak it is. Of course, it was the Plague Champion looking at it before, not the Eldar, so perhaps he's not aware of it that much at the moment. Immolator goes down as the firefight continues in the middle. I can't believe they're just letting this Bright Lance that has no support at all. Now he's doing the thing where he can't move it out. He needs to stop repairing so he can move it. Oh my gosh.
Finally, the Bright Lance targets other things.
There was a lot of panic happening right there. I could feel it. I could feel the panic.
And Chosen Plague Marines are actually going to melee this Chimera.
Oh my
some
gosh,
minor
this heavy
damage to
turret
it.
is so nasty. Where's the lance, says Bruce, it's retreated. He has no idea what's going on here. Grenades go down and hit a whole lot of nothing. Oh my gosh, has he forgotten? He needs to keep in mind where that heavy turret is. There are only 100 points left on the map. They only have to keep holding for a little while longer, but they have to be very careful. Everything is kind of hinging on this Falcon at the moment.
Bruce is even going to Tier 3.
Okay.
These Chosen Plague Marines staying in there a really long time as well. Finally lose one of their models.
I mean, that's kind of what they do, right? They still... Oh, another heavy turret comes in. They need to get some long-range anti-vehicle out on the field here very soon. Each of these heavy turrets is pretty much like a stationary tank.
Bright Lance being upgraded for Bruce's Guardian weapon team at this time.
So far. Look at the range on that. Oh my gosh. Why does it shoot so far?
Yeah, that's really far.
Like, it doesn't even have the, it doesn't even have the long-range anti-armor cannon.
What do you require?
I don't know when that change was made, but I swear they didn't used to shoot that far. I don't know why it would need to be.
I think they might have.
Maybe they
for a
did?
while.
Alright, it's possible.
I think it's just something you don't see it that often. And a lot of times, even when you do see it, it doesn't live that long, so you don't get to see it that much. And most times, it's going to be shooting in closer ranges than that.
Sure.
And I think it probably has much longer attack range than it has, like, sight range.
We have lost the structure to the enemy.
All right, one of those heavy turrets looks like it's going to be taken down by the Blastmaster Noise Marine from Freeman. And that will indeed be the end of it.
Alright, so one of the turrets goes down. A decap trying to get accomplished here by a Plague Champion. Best Noob heading into Tier 3 and a Wraith Lord coming out for Piano. Bruce Campbell opting for a Seer Council? I don't know if that's correct. Honestly, he's sitting on so much resources. I feel like he's just short of an Avatar at this point, but I guess he really wants to get out on the field and close out on the map.
Grenade goes in on the Noise Marines in the back as we have a flank coming in from the Falcon on some of Freeman's units. No, just kidding. This is the Falcon from Piano.
Yeah, the Falcon for Bruce is way back behind enemy lines. It has to be careful though. That turret can still hit it, depending on where it's positioned. He has. Oh my God! Look at all these zombies popping up. Look at all the guardsmen. Okay, he needs to be careful with the Wraith Lord. There is a shield on the Falcon already though. But of course, this thing will be getting a Bright Lance before long, and you can see even just now he's reacting, treating it with some respect. Of course, you don't want your Walker to get in there anyways, but let's see, what's the Seer? I feel like the Seer Council isn't the right choice here. I would have rather seen a Fire Prism or an Avatar. There's a Bright Lance over here too. What are you doing?
I have to agree with you.
This is the one thing that can kill this Falcon is a Bright Lance and a heavy turret, and he's driving right into it. He gets out of there. The shield went down in the blink of an eye.
I feel like there are just so many things that a Fire Prism could target from a distance here instead of the Seer Council.
Yeah, especially now that there's a Wraith Lord out here as well. And they're trying to break this turret
down for Freeman.
These Noise Marines need to be very careful too, as when they retreat, they're going to need to walk around that pipe into the Wraith Lord and the Banshees.
Oh,
they're
man,
trying to finish off
rough.
this turret.
If the Wraith Lord turns around, the Wraith Lord is definitely trying to look for the Plague Marines, but missing the opportunity actually to take out the Noise Marines.
The Falcon just narrowly destroys that turret. It almost went down with the shield and everything. Bruce Campbell getting a second Guardian weapons team. Oh man, this is the kind of fight I like on Caldera. It's just constant back and forth on the middle points. The turrets are down though. Let's see if that's going to open up an opportunity for Bruce Campbell and Freeman to do something about this. They still have so much time, so many points, but as the game goes on, I feel like their advantage wanes a bit. With Best Noob in Tier 3, getting out of tank, Piano's got a strong Tier 2 force as well. What was a strong tech advantage is now starting to even out a bit. They still have a superior army, I feel like, because Best Noob really doesn't have that much on the field. All they need to do is take the points, get a triple cap for just a little bit, and they can shut this game out once and for all. But they're going to have to fight for it still. This could be the last push.
Piano and Best Noob, I mean, they're holding on pretty well, but obviously they've got to hold on maybe a little bit more than better than pretty well.
The Grenade's trying to finish off the Falcon. 53 points and the VPs are ticking down. See, the Seer Council is just... Oh, it's just so ineffective.
Close to being proven right about your suggestion, or not your suggestion, your prediction. Downward. that ends with shin.
One of those IONs, I don't know. Alright. Will they be able to do anything about this? They need to start moving into the middle right now. Can they push? The Falcons moving up the Wraith Lord. The Chimera all moving into the center. And surprise, a Lehman Russ tank is here to say something about it too, but there's nothing here to cap. The Guardsmen are moving forward. There's very little, almost nothing out here. The Plague Champ trying to get that last swing. Can he get the hit on the Falcon before he goes down? Falcon goes down. 5, 4, the Plague Cloud comes in. The VPs go neutral.
Get the decap, though. So for now, they buy that time. Will it be enough, though, as we see the Guardsmen still being chased after by the Cloud?
These players are good, but are they good enough to make sure the VPs don't get captured a single time more? Because if the VPs go against them, there literally won't be enough time to get a decap
And then
in.
where is the Wraith Lord going?
The Wraith Lord's going, looks like right out of the game, if I were to guess. Oh, what does this call in? Oh, a webway? They want it too bad. They need to make sure they have time. They can be patient. There are so many setup teams back here. The Falcon can finish off this Wraith Lord. It just needs to turn and finish it off. Yeah, there we go.
Even one of the Bright Lances is turning around. That'll finish it off quite a bit, even more quickly.
Oh man, the Chosen Plague fighting Banshees, but spawning more Banshees? Oh my gosh, this is brutal. Are they actually going to escape? Warlock does the warp throw to keep everything safe.
Wraith Lord is unbelievably still alive,
Oh
but
my
finally
gosh.
goes down.
And now there's a Siege Dread out here as well. I mean, there's just so much anti-vehicle, and the vehicles are really the only thing keeping Best Noob relevant in this fight. Now that they have to back off so far, I'm not sure how much longer this is going to last. It looks like the Plague Champ is going for the final capture. The Warlock gets the knockback, though, and an Ethereal Slash to follow it up.
But he's gonna go down. So is the Falcon from Piano.
That was
Finished
the
off by the
second
Siege
Falcon,
Dreadnought.
too, I believe.
Siege Dreadnought took a lot of damage in the process, but that is going to be Piano and Best Noob conceding. So I have been proven wrong.
Oh my
and
gosh.
You have
I
been
mean,
proven
I thought you were right there. After those first couple of games, you better believe I thought it was gonna be a 3-0.
It was looking like that. And you predicted 3-2, but who did you actually predict winning? Did you still predict
I still
Piano and Best Noob?
predicted Piano and Best Noob winning, but now, I mean, this is, a thing we've said time and time again. Can Piano conquer himself to come in for the win here?
Yeah, that wasn't the 5-minute win on Calderis that he had envisioned.
No, I mean, they made a crazy strong push in the early game. Freeman showing that he can play this chaos quite well. I'd take a jab too if I had the opportunity. All right, here we go. This is it, the ace match. The final match before Cretella becomes a productive member of society. Something we frown upon in the Dawn of War 2 community.
For 6 weeks, maybe. We'll see.
Oh, man.
All right. All right, this will be the final game. We're going to see Piano going back over to the Orcs.
Yeah, Piano goes Orcs. Bruce sticks with the Warlock. Freeman with a Plague Champion also seems to be Freeman's best performance so far as well. So this time we have Freeman versus Best Noob. Last time it was Freeman versus Piano. We'll see if the switch of the matchup has any real difference here. And Piano and Best Noob, they're down suddenly 2 games in a row. Will the reverse sweep happen, or will they manage to steal themselves and get back into this and take the victory? We're going to find out right now. Heretics coming out along with some guardsmen and double shooters and banshees. All the standard stuff you'd expect to see so far. Nothing particularly wacky. Everyone playing it safe because they want this win. As much as there's not necessarily a lot of money on the line when it gets to a 2-2 match in a finals of a tournament. Both players are like determined. Everyone now is invested in this series for like 90 minutes. So it's like you've been playing this single matchup for like 90 minutes, and this is the fight that's going to determine who wins. I don't know if any of you guys have been in like... Oh, go ahead.
I feel like there's a fair amount of pride on the line.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Because Piano and Best Noob may be quiet right now, but you know, when it gets around to your Monday morning stream and they're just in Twitch chat, they might be a little bit more unrestrained there.
You might be right on that. They are actually muted in this tournament because they have a reputation for talking a bit too much trash. Okay, Shuriken Weapons team coming out for Bruce. Bruce, this is what he did last game, too. He dropped the generators very quickly, going for the Shuriken team, probably going to get a second. Bruce.
Oh, man.
All right,
I don't
Bruce,
know.
Bruce is trying. I think Bruce is playing the mind games here.
Yeah, I'm also saying we might have to extend the mute rule to Bruce right now, because he's trying to...
Bruce is trying to play the games.
It's almost like one of the few times where I'll have to defend Piano, because it's like Bruce is trying to bait him when Piano's not supposed to talk or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, at any rate, Piano's going to be moving on out with his nice big Orc-Wa. As far as I can tell, no upgrades on the individual squads, so it might be another one of those occasions where he kind of gets those upgrades later, maybe looking for... Yeah, there are the Storm Boys coming out kind of as expected. And then at some point, my guess is Battery Pack and then maybe Pain Boy after that.
Yeah, I think the order of the Battery Pack and the Pain Boy depends on kind of how he's doing on the map. He'll get the Battery Pack if he thinks he can push an advantage. He'll get the Pain Boy if he's already on the retreat, just to get the extra squad out.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good push here. He might be trying to tilt Bruce in response. But he will definitely capture up the bottom of the map while...
Plague Champ doing a great job up north with the Havoc and the Bile Spewer, burning down some generators, pressuring the Guardsmen, baiting out the Sentinel Stomp, even allowing the Heretics to move in now on the exposed, suppressed Guardsmen. Doomblast comes down, forces a retreat, and some really nice play from Freeman.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the whole farm as the Plague Champion finishes it up right there. Heretics still going in here. Just counting on that.
And the Plague Champ's going to keep pushing up this side. He spots some more generators, and his eyes light up.
Oh no, that's going to be unfortunate for Best Noob and Bruce Camp. For Best Noob and Piano. I apparently forget who's teaming with each other.
The Havocs are set up again. The Plague Champ's got some fire in his eyes and some bile in his spewer, because here goes some more generators, even firing through. I guess there's windows there. It's fine. The bile can shoot through that.
Yeah, that makes enough sense. All right, Chaos Space Marine's getting rather low there, so they will be forced off. But I think now I just straight up can't tell the players apart. Freeman getting at least one more generator there. Perhaps he'll get more.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get at least two here. The Sentinel coming in on the flank over here behind the Havoc's line of fire. I don't know if it does have... Yeah, it does have a third stomp now available. The Sentinel honestly has to be kind of careful here, though. It's not very high health. Oh my gosh, the bile and the grenade launchers. Look at this damage.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, the Sentinel is just counting on there not actually being that much threat against it. I mean, the Heretic is literally
just
one
aspiring
champion. Heretic. The grenade launcher Heretics, they've got grenade launchers, then they've got a few autoguns, and those autoguns don't do much. So there wasn't actually much threat against the Sentinel.
Yeah, more bashes coming in. You can see the red team's even building on the far side over here. Grenades going down. Oh my gosh, look at the damage. A pile of grenades at least does some pretty reasonable damage if you just drop them at point blank right on top of a heavy weapons team. Again,
I mean, I know we're still in the early game here, but now we're entertaining the possibility of, do Freeman and Bruce actually win this?
I don't know. I mean, it's looking strong for them at the moment. They got I mean, Freeman again with the full just double bash. He really knows how to flex with this Plague Champion against the Imperial Guard, apparently. He knows the build, he knows how to play it, and he's been doing it pretty flawlessly so far. Bruce, however, having a little trouble on his side, but he is holding, which is all he really needs to do with how powerful Freeman's been looking in this matchup. Once they hit tier 2, they can kind of tech up, start really pushing together as a team, and take control of the game as they did before. They're already 150 victory points up. Let's see if Piano and Best Noob can do something about this. I feel like they can. They've got the skills. Piano has the build, I feel like, to really punish the double shurikens. But now he's just walking into suppression.
Yeah, I mean, did they not have their jump ready? Maybe he was going into that.
I think he was maybe just hesitant to jump because he wasn't sure where the second shuriken was yet. He knows there's two. But he bled a lot of models just standing under that suppression. The mines took a little longer to activate than he was expecting. Bruce Campbell's headed into tier 2.
Very much got forced off the field. Nearly lost a shooter squad for his troubles.
Oh, he's got to be careful with these Banshees, though. I know the Storm Boys are bad at retreat killing, but sometimes they pull off the miracles.
So
oh my gosh, these grenade launchers and Plague Champions still continuing to just obliterate the Imperial Guard. This might just be a matchup that's too tough for the Lord General to deal with.
Yeah. Best Noob's still struggling quite a bit. He just cannot hold power on his side. Piano doing well, fairly well, or at least well enough on his side of that map means they at least have that one full power farm at the bottom.
Ooh, Plague Champ goes down. A little bit of a misplay there. He wanted the generator too badly. He gets it. But there is one gen farm, like you said, at least that's something. And does allow Piano and Best Noob to get back into the tech race. That said, they're hurting. I mean,
more power.
Go ahead.
They'll put down more power, and Best Noob, since Best Noob has always been running kind of light, he's actually already in tier 2, ahead of Freeman, despite all of Freeman's bashing. So, like to the eye, it looked really bad, but now when I look deeper, it seems like Best Noob and Piano are managing to hold, and a lot of that probably does have to do with the bottom power farm that Piano was able to keep.
Yeah, they're doing okay. I think they're still a good deal behind on requisitions simply because of all the power they've been having to rebuild.
And certainly behind in victory points.
So Bruce bringing out some warp spiders. So in tier 2 and able to get a squad out on the field right away. Freeman has something behind his tier 2 as well, I'm almost positive. Because he had a huge pile of requisition before he got there. But, yeah, we are seeing Bruce just kind of unable to fight this Orc blob.
Gonna be a Dreadnought for Freeman.
Oh my, okay, a Dreadnought.
I think it's fine. Like, obviously these days I definitely hear a lot of people saying, especially someone like Piano saying, like, oh, the Dreadnought sucks, buy a Blood Crusher. But I think it's sensible against Imperial Guard. I think it does, like, I think it's situationally it's strong here.
Sure, I agree with that. And, I mean... This is gonna be an uphill climb because, as you know, as we can see on the counter, Freeman and Bruce still at 500 while their opponent's down to 200 already.
All right, Chaos Space Marine's gonna be focused. Not even any plasma going in on them, but they're just out in the open. There's so much damage going in on them. And
Autocannon Havoc.
Fire. Sentinel seems to be slightly trapped by its own guards and squads. The guardsman squad is also really, really low.
A Bright Lance now adds to the fire here. Has to be very careful with these guardsmen. He's reinforcing, but they're continuing to take a lot of damage. Sometimes reinforcing under fire does get a little pricey, even with Imperial Guard. Oh, the Warlock goes down again, and now that's both heroes down. Bruce and Freeman do have the resources to rebuy here shortly if they choose to do so. They might want to just get some squads on the field instead. There's not a lot of tier 2 tech out here. Warp Spiders have to be careful too.
Some victory points are actually ticking down of Best Noob and Piano for the first time of this game.
Yeah, it looks like they're making a solid push back onto the map. The Chimera and the Death Dread pushing forward. There is a Siege Dreadnought out here, however. So those vehicles are going to have to be at least a little careful. The mine's coming down.
In such a good position.
And for whatever reason, the Siege Marine wasn't firing.
And the Autocannon Havoc not firing either because they're behind like this little rock.
I don't think he recognizes it yet. Yeah, he finally retreats. Drops a volley. Frenzied Barrage over there doing some nice damage. Now, what is Bruce getting behind this? He's not purchasing back the Warlock, so I'm expecting perhaps a Wraith Lord to come out next behind these Warp Spiders. I think Best Noob and Piano have what it takes. Both teams could potentially run away with this, but Bruce and Piano are the one climbing back into the victory point game.
Yeah, it was looking so strong for Freeman and Bruce, and I mean, obviously they still got plenty of victory points, but we see Piano and Best Noob stabilizing, and now looking like they're in this. Warp Spiders teleport around the corner.
Yeah, I don't think that's... Yeah, no, 2 squads of shooter boys. That's not where you want to be. Now without cover, the Warp Spiders can pump out some damage, but generally, with the Warp Spiders, you're wanting to like jump around to positional advantage, right? You want to jump around, pincer squads between cover and things like that.
Frenzied Barrage eventually does get the shooter boys off the field, however.
And it looks like they're just going to ignore the heavy turret and focus on the bottom side, which I think is fair for now. Don't deal with the heavy turret till you have something to do. Bruce Campbell is heading into Tier 3. Don Freeman could do so behind this as well. I'm not sure if they're going to choose to do so. There's not actually a lot to shut down these guardsmen over here at the moment. The autocannon Havoc is a little too far back.
Yeah, Zenstred is up front and it's firing, but I think it was just a change with the Zenstred a long time ago that it was made so that it wasn't very effective against infantry. It used to just be pretty good against all targets, which made it kind of...
Yeah, the Frenzied Barrage ability still does quite good AoE damage to things like guardsmen and that sort of thing. It also suppresses, obviously, but its basic attack is certainly not much versus infantry, as we just saw. So far, one thing I've been seeing from Bruce is that like his Banshees have just been so ineffectual against this Orc army.
I don't think I've even noticed the Banshees that much anyway.
Ooh.
The Death Dread potentially in trouble?
It might be able to get out of here. It's still pretty quick with its Cult of Speed and...
Yeah, used Cult of Speed. We have some units here to try to threaten the Dreadnought a little bit, or at least threaten the units surrounding the Dreadnought as the Storm Boys jump in, but then immediately retreat. Grenades go in, but they will mostly miss. And the Zenshred's still taking some shots.
Yeah, the Bright Lance isn't set up in the middle anymore, and the Guardsmen are coming around the far flank over here. War Spiders open up fire, dropping both of those Red New members in a quick barrage on that Lord General, continuing to try to take him out, but they may have went a little too far forward, now having to retreat through a whole lot here. Lots of fire. Oh my gosh, they go down.
My God. End of the Warp Spiders.
Smoosh and toss.
Dreadnought here. Hasn't succeeded in taking down a vehicle just yet, though.
I think Freeman is playing really on point. Bruce has been having a hard time throughout most of this, though.
This is crazy. This is really, really turning around now. I mean, the Warp Spiders, not only were they lost,
forgotten about that turret? The Banshees are taking shots.
Oh, God. Another heavy turret getting a lot of value.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Bruce isn't watching. He finally wakes up to the threat.
All right, he'll get them out of there alive with the Distort Field on them. But this game has turned around so much. The victory points are just about evened out, and I think Piano and Best Noob hold them long enough that they'll even get the advantage here.
Oh my gosh, look at how speedy that Sentinel is with the Cult. Just sprinting across the map. The setup team just like can't hold. Yeah, man.
Right.
Alright, finally the Death Dread goes down, but it has done plenty of work. Taking out those Warp Spiders alone is probably worth its weight there.
Oh, yeah.
VPs are even up, and the thing is, everyone's heading into Tier 3 now, so there's no clear advantage. The victory points have evened out, and I did say, Best Noob and Piano have the skill to take this back. It looks like they've rallied, they've gotten themselves together. The barrage comes down along with the Plague Cloud. Let's see if it does manage to force the Guardsmen off the field. One squad does manage to find the Chimera, but the Siege Dread will be able to obliterate this turret right quick. Banshees and Seer Council are now here, and if there's one thing that's going to shut down all this Orky melee, it's definitely those two squads. So now that the Bruce and Freeman have taken back the map, this will start being a very difficult position to break. The Siege Dread, along with the Banshees and Seer Council, they've got, the Siege Dreadnought is such a strong and meaty anti-vehicle platform, and obviously the Seer Council and Banshees, well, as I say that, I was gonna say are a threat to just about any infantry on the field, but apparently getting overrun by 4 squads of orcs is still a little more than they can handle. Bruce, I feel like he's just off in this game. His banshees have done almost nothing. The Seer Council's out here now, but it hasn't, you know, we just saw it got forced off. He's not really supporting them correctly. He seems to keep fighting with his setup teams and his melee separately. He never seems to have all of his squads out here at the right time to actually do anything about this.
All right, the Sentinel just standing around, though. Does manage to get out in time, but that's both those vehicles being forced off.
We had the Beamy Def Gun from the Mech Boy.
Chaos Space Marines. You know, if those Chaos Space Marines had upgraded to Zinch, they could possibly just finally take out that Sentinel once and for all.
Yeah, it looks like there's other plans, though. Freeman does have a Predator out here now. The escalation continues. A Lehman Rust tank coming out on top of all that. The Siege Dreadnought moving forward. It has to be very careful here. There is a lot of he's got the teleporting Mech Boy.
Cult of Speed, get the Sentinel out of there.
It shouldn't be focusing. You don't want to be focusing the Sentinel with the Siege Dread. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? He's throwing it away!
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if he just wanted to get rid of it or something, but it definitely was not the choice.
Why, he's pushing up with everything. What is he doing? He now has the full retreat. I don't know if that was just a micro mistake or what. He had such a great fortified position. The Siege Dread is such an awesome defensive tool, and then he just shoved it in, threw it away, and then was moving up his autocannon Havocs and his Heretics as well. I don't know what to think of that. Bruce has a Fire Prison coming. I think that'll help him out a lot. And I think his Banshees and Seer Council should really just be keeping an eye on his Guardian Weapons teams at this point. He has both a Shuriken and a Bright Lance. Alright, the Plague Champ is fully upgraded with the Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and that Mucus Discharge, making him a one of the tankiest units in the game. He puts down the Cloud, greatly reducing any incoming range damage. The Predator has to be careful here, as much as, oh my gosh, losing that Siege Dread is such a big deal, because if that thing was pressuring this Lehman Rust tank, this would be a whole different story. What is coming in? The rocket run! It might even hit the tank here!
I thought it was going to be a creeping barrage, but it's a rocket run. Rocket run going to take apart both of those squads. Oh no. That's going to be the end of the Lehman Rust, not the Lehman Rust, the Predator as well. My god. I think Piano and Best Noob have done it.
I think they have. They've turned it back around. The Imperial Guard, vehicular army over here. The Chimera, the Lehman Rust, and the Sentinel with Cult of Speed flank the Fire Prism, obliterate it. And now Don Freeman literally has nothing on the field except for his hero.
Cult of Speed on the Lehman Rust. What a powerful combo that is.
Yeah, you want to talk about something you want to fire and move faster. Oh my gosh, the Lehman Rust with a Vanquisher cannon. Plus that Laz on the front of it as well. When that thing gets into close range.
I can't believe this. Like, yeah, that's it. I was going to say, I think this is over.
Man, what a throw. That push from Freeman just completely baffles me. Oh my gosh. Like, the Siege Dreadnought does so little damage to a Sentinel. Like you said, if he could have just gotten some Siege Plague Marines and just obliterated that thing in a volley or two. And then he chases way into enemy territory with a Siege Dread, moves up all his... He had such a good fortified position, and that's what Plague Champ does. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, the Zinch Dread, it does provide so much anti-vehicle damage, but there definitely are some limitations to it, the speed of it, so especially when you're getting into tier 3 and you've got tanks coming out, the Zinch Dread does have trouble, especially being more like the core of your army. I think at that point it needs to like fall back, be a little bit more of a support, and you can't be too aggressive with it. And unfortunately, Don Freeman pays for his impatience there, and what looked like such a strong game at the start ends up being a big comeback for Best Noob and Piano.